scale.
I'm not gonna get this strap in my hands. Well, that's just cool. That'd be fun to read. I'm
It'll be very expensive to
no, that is cool. Who lives outside? Oh, how many stripper magazines over here?
The whole thing,
Yeah.
every one of them is all of it's $10 for the whole set. Very interesting. They're older and they're very interesting. I looked through some of them.
Welcome back to South Georgia Home. My name is Gail. I feel like I never dress up for you anymore, but I have got a busy next few hours. It is, I forgot, 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock at this point. I was on my way home from these estate sales, and there was a couple of people down the road cutting grass, and I looked at my car, my dash, and it was 12:38, I think, and the temperature was already 89 degrees, and I thought, there's no way. I'm gonna have to wait. I started cutting grass last night, but I'm gonna have to wait until when it cools down later on. I just can't do 90-degree heat with the sun shining right down on me. No, thank you. So I'm gonna, when I get through this, I've got about 3-gallon bags worth of green beans in my fridge that I need to do something with. So we're gonna be canning, or I'm gonna be canning because Jason went to work today. And getting that out of the way, trying to clean out my refrigerator. The garden is coming in right now. I've got pickles coming out my ears. I've already done sweet pickles, already canned some sweet pickles. We don't go. A little explanation, I don't know by now. I think I'll have 2 videos ahead of this one that needs to be downloaded, but we were digging trenches in our backyard. We were putting a spigot out by the dog pen and the chicken pen so we wouldn't have to walk so blooming far to get water to those animals. And also my blackberry and blueberry bushes are back there behind the dog pen, so to water those when it's dry, we don't have to drag 100-foot hoses out and get back there. So we laid a trench for the water. And we were anyway, while they were doing this, they didn't know it, they didn't even see it, they couldn't find it anywhere, but they cut our internet wires. So we had no internet that weekend. The technician couldn't come out until Monday. It was on a Saturday, he couldn't come out until Monday, and he dropped a temporary line. We had 3 gigabyte internet before. We're down to, I think, 0.1 gigabyte now. And he said, we're just gonna leave it. We'll get in with the first sale. The first things that I picked up was some of the things that I thought was not going to be there. Now these are marked at $10 a piece, and they were marked then, and that's why I only got 2, because I thought maybe he'll cut me a deal, but if he doesn't, I don't want to be owing him my mortgage payment. So this is the first one I got, and it is cracked on the base a little bit. There was 3 of them. There was one like a chippy green, one was like a chippy reddish, and this one was a chippy yellow. So you see how old that looks. But you can see the base where it's cracked there. But you can see where this guy kept notes on the back of it. Shake it, which I did. You could hear it tick for a minute and then it stopped. But again, everything was, most of these clocks were all $10 a piece. And then you had the old alarm clocks with the bells sitting on top, the ring. I think they were like 20 a piece. But this one, as you can see how small it is, it's just perfect to stick somewhere. This one, I was pleasantly surprised when I got home. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Anyway, it's ticking because I wound it up. They had one that was black, and I don't know if this is Bakelite or Lucite. I don't think it is. I think it's just plastic. It may be, I don't know. It just feels plasticky to me. It is a Westclox. But what's cool, and it says runs good. That's what he wrote on there. Here is the cord. You pull the cord, and I've already pulled it until it's wound up, so I'm not gonna try to pull it anymore. But this is the cord. It's like a zip cord. You just pull it. Like you're trying to crank one of those old lawnmowers back in the day, you just pull. That's how you wind the clock. That's why it's ticking. But I thought that was cool. It's like an Art Deco kind of look to it to me. But it's just ticking away. So those were 2 things I was pleasantly surprised. And they were more, but again, the price, I wasn't gonna pick up a whole lot. Wasn't quite sure what I was getting into. Now, this I picked up and I didn't realize it was as damaged as it was. It's just a little bud vase, but it is cracked. Yeah, here on the foot of it, you can see the crack through there. It's missing a chunk. It was only $2. But this time of year, we've got flowers galore. We've got daylilies, and I will go out there and get a little stem of something and just a little bud vase. So pick that up. Now, a couple of estate sales ago, I started learning when you go in the kitchen, everything may not be on the counters, so look in the drawers. Well, I forgot it on this one. So when I was walking around, somebody else was opening the drawers and looking, and that's when I was like, oh crap, I didn't look in any drawers. So when I went back, not a lot to be had, just regular spatulas and plastic spoons, all that kind of stuff. But I found these. I already have one set. Now I have two. These might be for sale. It's the same U.S. Standard aluminum older measuring spoons. Because I already have that set, so these might be for sale. This was in the dining room, and I asked the guy, because there was an attendant in the house, and he said, oh, let me go get someone, because there was two silverware boxes. You know how you put your silverware in the little slots. And there's two boxes, and I'm like, do you have to buy all of it, or can you buy pieces? So he went and got the guy who was actually over the sale, and he comes in and he said, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't want all of it. He said, well, just get it, however many pieces. I usually do like 2 for $1. If it's not silver plate or something like that. Anyway, I bought 3 pieces, like I need them. But I'm assuming this is more like a mayonnaise spoon or a Cool Whip spoon, or maybe it has a fancier job than that. I don't know. Then this spoon has really caught heck. I'll let you see the handle. But look at this. It is warped and bent right here. I don't know why. I don't know what they were using it for. I don't know what you use a spoon for, but it is warped. Anyway, that, and then this is a cheese spreader or hors d'oeuvre spreader or whatever you want to call it. And you can look at the handle. So I picked up those 2 pieces. And there were more smaller spoons, whatever, but I've got, God knows, plenty of that. So the house was extensive, and well, I'll go ahead and finish up what was in the house. There's a few more things that were in the house. I picked this up. It's a runner, table runner. It does need to be washed. I'm hoping this color comes out. It looks like it's just discolored. I hope it's not stained, but I think it'll match kind of like what's on the table. I like that look. I don't know if it's an old Victorian look or what, but I like that look. So I picked up this runner. And I picked up one pillow from the little settee that it had there. I have been looking for a pillow to go on our bed. I've got a needlepoint there, but it kind of clashes with that quilt. So I'm looking for something that I like to go with that. It's this fake quilted look. It's not quilted, but it's made to look like that. But I kind of like the picture of the colors. And I'm not a real purple person, but I can live with it. It's mauve, more mauve and blue. This I don't know about. I'm gonna see if we can maybe get rid of that. If there's any way to take that out without destroying the pillow. And even the backside, I even like the colors on the backside, the turquoise green look. But I want that for the bed, but I don't want this on it. So we'll see how that goes. The two pieces of artwork you saw me pick up if you watched the beginning one. This, I don't know, unless somebody worked there that lived in the house or family business. I'm not quite sure why you would do this. Jones Brothers Dairy, 1920 to 1967, and the part that would go on the milk, the mouth of the milk, those glass milk jugs. It's really well framed and matted. So I don't think it's old. I mean, I don't know if it would go back to 1960 or somebody did this later. This I thought would go really well with my war stuff. I lean mostly towards World War II. I've got a few things like 1950, 1951. This, I think, is more World War I in Flanders Fields. I believe that's when it was written, Flanders Fields. And it is by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae of Montreal, whose body lies in Flanders Fields. So that's the poem. And you can Google that. It's a really nice poem. But I thought that would be nice with my World War II stuff, even though it's actually World War I stuff. So I was let loose to pick up what I wanted, I guess, which I only got a few things. I got this for me. I thought it was just a cute little clamp. And I don't know if something would have gone here on the end of it, but you know, you just twist it and this goes up or down to hold it on something. So I don't know how much use I'll get out of that. Then, fascination with scissors, and I don't know why. I've got red ones, black ones, yellow, and now orange. Brown, I also have brown. I have quite a collection of these here scissors. So, this I picked up. I didn't know if Jason might need it. It's a 5-piece solid brass quick coupler set. That's probably the kind that you would use with an air hose or something. to quickly take a tool off that air hose. Now, also, Jason's always told me, you know, if you go places and there's tools, if it's a decent price and it says Craftsman, pick it up. I'm sure we have a bunch of Phillips head screwdrivers, but this is a Craftsman, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It is written in the handle there, but it is a Craftsman screwdriver. So I picked that up. And then this I saw, and again, Craftsman. So I picked up as another clamp. That's a bigger, way bigger clamp than the other one, but Craftsman, so that's why I got it. And this one was priced at $6. I don't know if I can get you to see that, but yeah, it's a little dirty too. So, and then in the fishing shed, I picked up one thing, and I have, again, stumbled into an accidental collection. It doesn't have a hook, so I'm gonna have to figure out if we can put a hook in it or what. This is the fourth one now that I own. I did not buy one. I had one in my sights here not too long ago. It didn't have a hook to hang it up on, and I let it go. I didn't buy it. This one I just picked up and put in my bag. So, but anyway, that was the first sale. It was supposed to be the second sale, wound up being the first sale. And I think I paid oh no, wait a minute, there's one more thing. This was also, I think, out in the fish shed. There's another collection. I've got one out on the porch, on the front porch. It's not in very good shape. This one has got a little rust spot or two, but I think it's pretty well done. It's $10, it was marked at $10. And does have its little cap and all on it, but it's probably more for looks than anything else. Anyway, when he first came over there, because his kids was running or his daughters were running the cash register, and she could ring up the stuff that had prices on it. But she called him over, and he's like, all right, $8 for the stuff that doesn't have a price. And I'm like, oh crap. Everything else, I mean, we're looking at, was it 10, 20, 30, 36, $38 of stuff that did have a price. So he looked at it and he said, hold on. So now let's just do 20 for everything. $20 is what I paid for that. I think it did pretty well. And maybe the spoons will be for sale. I don't know. Anyway, I went back to the first estate sale. Well, it was the second sale. It was supposed to be the first, but times got screwed up. And that was a really nice house. That was the house I was really wanting to see. It was really nice, really nicely well kept. Very clean, smelled great. But it was, older. I mean, they didn't update the house. They just kept it clean and in good repair. Now, this company, I don't know that I've ever been to one of these companies' sales before, but they took my stuff, put it on the holding table, and they started writing up everything. And when I went to pick it up, they had it in a plastic bag, and the breakable stuff already wrapped. So that was nice. But they didn't cut any prices. This was their second day as well. They didn't talk about any kind of deals. Maybe tomorrow is their last day. Maybe they're cutting deals tomorrow. I don't know. But I paid full price for everything. This you saw me take out of the cabinet, and I did pick it up. You see it is stained. I love this little raised detail on these white plates. It just is so feminine to me, and just a little touch of fancy on something that really just is a platter, something you're supposed to put food on. They put a little bit of fancy on it. And it does have that Ironstone stamp. Johnson Brothers. Yep, Royal Ironstone, China, Johnson Brothers, England. So that is probably why, or the staining is probably why they only put a $5 price tag on it. So I did pick that up. First thing. The second thing, you know, there's some things that you just don't know you want until you see it and you're like, I want it. I think I've seen these though in like antique malls, and they go for a lot more. So this is a needlepoint of birds. It's the one that hangs on the wall. You saw me take it off the wall. There's a holder. It is heavy. That brass is heavy, and it was only $10. So I have seen these in antique stores for a lot more money. So there was that. Then you saw me go into the room with that trunk. I probably should have avoided it, but you saw me pick up, there was the 2 bonnets. I picked this one up. It's lightweight. The other one was really, really heavy. This was more of a lightweight, and you can tell it was newer. I don't think it's as old as the other one that I bought at that other estate sale. Again, $5. That other one I think I bought was $5 too, but $5. I don't know. Yeah, those buttons are just for looks. You can't unbutton that, it's just for looks. But there's that. And I like the colors. I thought it would go with the other one. The other one's blue and pink, but it's more pink than this one. And then the other was the apron. Again, it was $5 as well. I think all the aprons, all the bonnets were $5. The gingham ones, I think I have a lot of the ginghams. That's why I left that. And this was just, it kind of reminds you of those old pajamas that people used to wear in the hospital or something. So $5 for that. And they had a lot of artwork on the walls. Some of it I liked. But they would have them grouped in like 2 or 3 to a set. Every now and again you run up on one, but like a whole group for $10. I might have liked one picture in the group, and I didn't want to pay $10 to get 3 and then be stuck with 2 I didn't like. Not that $10 was a lot of money for something you like. I just didn't want to pay for all 3 and only want 1. So I left all that behind. But I did find one little piece of artwork in the bathroom of all places. It's just a small little, it's an oil painting actually. It's just a little oil doodle, I guess you could say. And it does say that it is hand painted and made in Spain. So I think it was $1 for that. And then the last thing was outside. Under the carports they had planters, and they had brass planters and all this kind of thing. And in the room off the carport, they had storage. They had stuff in there too, but I didn't get any of that. It was a little pricey. But I found this, and I really like, for whatever reason, I like the color. Looks like a head of cabbage, don't it? It is chipped in some places right here, but that doesn't matter to me. And it does say, it is made in Japan, I think. Anarco, yeah, Anarco, Japan. And I'm guessing she paid $5.95 for it somewhere, because it's written here and then the tag. But they charged me $5. There's the price tag in there. They charged me $5 for that. Now I've got that pothos that's over there. It's actually in a ceramic pot that's sitting inside of a chamber pot, a enamelware chamber pot. And I had that little pothos over there that was it was a part of my mother's funeral flower, a little pothos growing over there. One of those is gonna go in this. So, but I don't know why the color just appealed to me, but it did. So I think I spent $31 at that estate sale. So that was all of that for that one. $31 for that one. Good time. I like looking through old stuff. I like digging in the totes and looking through something and looking through the frames. You never know what you're gonna find. This is second day, so a lot of it's gone by then. But anyway, the husband's about to come in with some ice. So anyway, I hope you're having a great week, and I hope you're having good weather. And thank you for joining us here at South Georgia Home.